So he could have said, you're bringing disgrace to the family name. You've been going through these championships and you haven't won any. We all know how these things go. And you, hello everyone, welcome to my creative corner. You know what time it is. So today I'm going to be talking about another K drama that I love, or that I loved. Yeah, and I would say, if you ask me, I would say it's definitely among my top 30. Yeah. You would probably wonder why I'm always talking about K dramas, right? I love the stories because, as an author myself, or let me say, as a writer, I like to write about the intricacies of human relationships. I mean, the relationships between father and daughter, father and son, uncle and niece, those, I feel like the ability to show the depth in, connections between people is one of the most, I don't know, one of the most important things in any writings or in any movie or any, thing that is any story. So I think that's why I really love K dramas. They have that knack for, showing what life really is about, those intricacies. And I think that's if you ask me, that's my main reason for liking K dramas. But maybe as time goes on, we'll talk about some other types of series and movies. You know, but for now, let's just continue. So today's title of today's drama is like flowers and sand. This is the picture. If you've not watched it, you can check it out. It's actually interesting. If you're a person that likes a heartwarming series, something that shows the difficulties a person could face in life, and how to navigate through them. So you would probably like this series. So the theme or the setting is they are wrestlers. Like, the main character is a wrestler, right? And he's into wrestling, but he's not the one I'm talking about today. I'm talking about somebody that is not necessarily the main character, but he really stood out for me, right? This is here. And in this series, his name was King Tae-baek. I think his real name is Choi Mo-sung as an actor. Anyway, whenever I see him in series, I'm always like, oh, I know this man, because he delivers. Like, his interpretation of roles is always impeccable. I don't know, from Family Choice to, he has been in so many that I have watched, and I like anytime I see him, I'm happy. So in this series, he was the father of, the main guy, and I think two things that stood out to me were the fact that he was, number one, he was a very supportive dad. He was a very supportive father, and that's number one. And number two, he was the kind of person that had, and he could have had an ego to protect, but he chose his child. And few, should I say few? Not many anyway. Not many fathers these days do that. We still have wonderful dads that do that. Shout out to all the wonderful fathers and dads out there. But anyway, why I said he was very supportive was he was there for his son. If he needed motivating, you would still find him somewhere chipping in, something to motivate his son, and he was there for him. And then I said, the reason why I said he could have protected his ego as against, supporting his son, was he was a former champion. I said the boy was a wrestler. Now his father was a wrestler as well, and he had won a championship. So he had, and then he had other sons. Before this particular son, he had other sons that had also won championships. And so he could have said, you're bringing disgrace to the family name. You've been going through these championships and you haven't won any. We all know how these things go with the pressure, and then somebody saying, you're bringing disgrace to the family name. You're supposed to keep up. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but they do that. There are people who do that. So he stood out to me because, he wasn't there to pressure his son. You know that deep down, he did want his son to be a champion. He did. Because when his son, spoiler alert, but when his son finally won the championship, you should see the look on his, you should have seen the look on his face. But you know that deep down, he wanted his son to be a champion, but there was no pressure. There was no pressure, and that was just so admirable, because that's something that every child hopes to have in a father. So, but all in all, I just loved him for that. So simple, but I loved him for that. Just knowing that you have somebody that you can always go back home. You can always go back to somebody at home that will not judge you, that will not tell you you're a failure, even though every other person in the world probably thinks you're a failure. It was just amazing. It was just amazing. And I think I'm partial because I like the actor himself because he's good. He's good. So, in our next episode, I'll talk to you about probably, I'm not sure, maybe Doshik, or let's see. But we are going to have two more characters from this series, like Flowers and Sand, and maybe we'll move on to something else. So it was nice talking to you guys. See you on the next one.